Well, I guess the first thing to talk about is where have I been? And I got to tell you, I didn't know so much time had passed since I've made a YouTube video. I know several times I sat down and tried to, um, but I kept getting interrupted from various things. First thing, I guess, would be to talk about would be my new glasses. One of the reasons I stopped doing a lot of my project was I had noticed that my vision had gotten incredibly bad. In fact, I stopped working on the lathe because I realized I was leaning right into, I mean, inches from the piece to try to see what was the gouge doing. I couldn't see it. And I had to admit to myself that something was happening with my vision. And it just kept getting worse. And I was prolonging going to the optometrist. And I ended up, I had to renew my driver's license. And I went to motor vehicles, and I couldn't see the sign on the wall where it had the letters for you to do the eye test. And I thought, well, that can't be right. I saw them the last time, which I don't know how many, 8 years ago. So I got to the counter, and the guy said, "Do you see the sign on the wall behind me?" I said, "Yeah." And I was squinting as hard as I could, trying to find a line that I could read. And he said, "Walk backwards until you see the duct tape on the floor." And I was like, "What?" So I was like 10 feet away, 12 feet away. And I stepped behind the tape, looked up, and I could see nothing. And the guy goes, "Read line 6," I think he said. And I looked at it and looked at it, and I said, "I can't." He said, "What line can you read?" And I said, "None of them." And so then he had to call for a supervisor, and they came over and they gave me a piece of paper, and they said that I had to take it to an optometrist and have them fill it out and get back to them, which I ended up doing. So the closest optometrist at that time was Walmart, a couple minutes away from motor vehicles. So I flew up there. They weren't busy. They got me right in. Asked me when was the last time I had my vision checked, which was a year and a half ago. And she's like, "You had your vision?" I said, "Yeah, I got brand new glasses a year and a half ago." So she gave me all the tests, and she came out again and she said, I just got to tell you, she said, "Your vision has decreased tremendously in a year and a half." She told me that with the glasses that I currently had on, which were a year and a half old, with those glasses on, I was seeing 20/70 out of my right eye and 2200 out of my left eye. Unbelievable. And on top of that, she informed me that I had cataracts in both my eyes. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." I had no idea. So anyway, she asked me if I wanted to get the surgery scheduled because apparently the cataracts were big enough that I could have them out now. And I said, "I'd rather wait to get my glasses." And she said, "Well, that's my choice. I could get my glasses, which would once again give me 20/20 vision. However, my night blindness and blurriness or whatever that I saw was from cataracts." And she said, "You might be able to go a year before you have to have them removed." She said, "We don't really know." So she said it would be fine to get my new glasses, these ones, which bring me up to 20/20 again. And we'll wait on the cataracts until I can tell that I really do need them to be done, which is apparently they do them one at a time. So that was put the kibosh on lots of my projects because my vision had gotten to the point where I couldn't see to do a lot of things. And then I picked up a hobby during the winter, and it was paint by numbers that I had gotten from Temu. Because when I was young, I used to love to do paint by numbers. So I had gone online one time and looked them up, and I couldn't believe the prices they wanted for these paint by numbers. I mean, they were roughly 40 to 60 bucks for a paint by number. And when I went on Temu and just by fluke I typed it in, here they come up, they were like $6, $7, $5. So I thought, this is a good thing. I'm going to do them. I did one. I asked everybody what they thought of it. Everybody loved it. And I got the idea, I'm going to do one for every one of my grandkids, which of course is 8. And then of course I was going to do one for myself. Then my son saw them. He wanted one. So that's 10 altogether that I was going to need. So I picked them out, ordered them. And I don't know how long it took me, but I did finish all 10 paint by numbers. Also, during this time, my computer had started really acting up. And what I had is, you know, the old tower. It was HP, which I love HP. And I looked it up. How old was the computer? 8 years old. I was pretty kind of surprised. I didn't realize it was that old. And then I got all kinds of warnings that a lot of the stuff on my computer where it's outdated or was soon to be outdated come October. And they're really pushing Windows 11, which I didn't get a lot of feedback that people liked it. In any case, I ended up ordering a new computer. I should have paid more attention. I was so excited to get a new computer. And it was called an all-in-one HP computer. But my stupidity that I didn't realize is because it's an all-in-one, it has no DVR drive on it, which previously I was downloading songs and burning them on a DVD, CD, so I could play them in my my little stereo. So what I ended up doing was I researched it and found out you can order them, and they were cheap actually. Maybe that's why I had a problem with it once it came. But I ordered an external DVR drive, which thankfully came with extra plugins for USBs in the back of it, because on my all-in-one computer, the components for the computer that you plugged into the back of it didn't leave me. I think it was only one free USB, which there was other things I wanted to plug in. So I ended up getting that DVR drive, which had a lot of ports in the back of it. So that was great. The other thing about the all-in-one that wasn't so great was the speakers. The volume was not very good. And even full blast, some things on YouTube I couldn't even hear very well. So I ordered an external speaker, hoping that it was as good as the reviews people had put on it. It said it was. Again, it wasn't very much. I don't even think it cost $20. Love it. It's great. And then the other thing was, and this was something people had written about when I was reading the reviews for this all-in-one computer, was that the keyboard and the mouse were cheesy, cheap, and they sucked. And that was true. They ridiculously cheaply made, considering this was Hewlett-Packard. And I was really surprised that there was no quality to that keyboard. It looked like it was almost a pretend keyboard. Didn't like it at all. So again, researched keyboards, found one cute one that I liked. It's pink. It lit up. And it came with a mouse that was pink and lit up. So, and ordering that. So now I have the computer set up with its parts that I like the way it is. So the only problem is I'm still learning Windows 11 because it's much different than Windows 10. And I have to find out where stuff is and how things work. And I've gotten to the part now where I'm kind of feeling my way around. So I have pictures and videos loaded to a file I call YouTube, so that when I make this video, I can insert pictures or videos about the things I'm talking about. The other thing I did the other day, this is just kind of tossed this in there. I bought outdoor furniture last year. Love it. It's fantastic. And it's kind of funny. I put it in the living room during the winter. It's 2 chairs, like a fake wicker. And the wood, I forget what they said that wood was, but acacia wood. That's on the handles, the legs, on the table. It looked beautiful last year, but this year I noticed that the arms were rough and the top of the table, and it looked like whatever finish was on there had come off. Now, when it rains, like it rained a couple days ago, it was heavy rain. This patio had a good 2 inches of standing water on it. The drainage here was not that great, I guess, but the legs are in the water. The chair legs, which are wood, were sitting in that water, and so were the legs on the table. And as I've seen with other wooden stands that I have out here, over time, it rots them from the amount of time they stand in the water like that. So what I did was I got them all cleaned up, washed up, and I bought a sealer, which I wanted. I didn't like polyurethane because it didn't seem to me it was appropriate, because when I had it, it said it was for indoor use only, not outdoor. And what I wanted was something that was good for outdoors as well. So I went to Home Depot. I was going to try to find some polyurethane, oil-based or something, and I came across this can that said that it was latex paint, clear gloss. And I was like, what is that? What do you mean clear gloss paint? And I read the label, and it said it's for indoor and outdoor use. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try it. So this is what I got. I put it on. I sanded the arms so they're smooth on both chairs. and the top of the table. Cleaned them all up, and then I painted them with that latex clear gloss indoor outdoor paint, and they look great. It hasn't rained yet. It sprinkled this morning. I'm waiting to see if how well it repels the water when it does rain. So we'll see. It said, I think it said what, was it 48 hours for it to fully cure, which I found interesting. But we'll see how does this indoor outdoor paint go. So I did that the other day. It didn't take long. I had a box that I'd got off Temu with a glass top, and I bought it specifically because I wanted to make a storage box for my Egyptian coin series set that I have that I finally completed. The series is done. It was by Heidi Weiss. I don't know how to say her last name. And it was the Egyptian God series, 2-ounce silver coins. There are 10 of them, and I finally got all 10. And I was going to put them in this box. I was going to order some black foam to put in the box, and then cut a circle and insert the coin, each coin, into its own circle and display it in this box. Did not go very well. I was not good. I bought a little foam cutter, which is hysterical. It works really good, and it just melts foam like nobody's business. But I ended up going crazy with it. Some of the circles are not really circles. They're kind of oblong. And some of them are too deep. Others are kind of shallow. So I didn't do a good job with it at all. But I managed to do 10 holes. I put all 10 coins in there, put them in the box, kind of stuffed it in there because the foam is thicker than it should be. And I got it in there. Not a project I would brag about, but I did it. And then the bird you hear over in the side to me is a house wren. That's a house wren. So what was the other thing? Oh, the box. I bought another box, and my niece just got married, so I wanted to make her a little box just to throw some trinkets in it or whatever. And so I tried wood burning. So here's the attempt at this box that I drew everything on there, or traced it on there. Then I wood burned it. Then I used watercolor pencils to color them in, and of course then I used the brush with water to brush over the colors and kind of soften them. And then I tried that finish on it. I'm trying that finish on it that I bought and sealed the chairs and the table with. I'm using it to put on the box as well. So it's not a great project. It took a long time. I'm not really good at wood burning, obviously, but hopefully she'll like it. So that's where I've been. That's what's been going on. The heat has been not much you even want to do when it's hot. I mean, I had to force myself the one day. It dropped into upper 70s with a breeze, and I said, okay, today's the day. Quick, ran outside, mowed the yard. Another day it wasn't too bad. I got up at 6. By 6:30 I was outside trimming back bushes, rose bushes and things, pulling weeds out of my flowers. And my son came and he put mulch down in all my flower beds. Yesterday I got up, I noticed the weeds are growing back in some spots. So I had mixed up weed killer. I ran outside early in the morning before the heat got really bad, and I sprayed the weeds. I don't know if you saw her, but that was the wren that just flew away. There's a gourd hanging there. And I have several of them in my tree that I buy them, I dry them out, and paint them, put holes in them for the bird. And they use them for their nest. And right now there's a house wren who's been working on it for the past couple of days. You can hear her singing. There's 2 of them. They alternate going, there it is, going in and out of that gourd. They're putting sticks and little twigs and things inside there to make their nest.